Dr. Zachary Davis. This is the data mining class and predictive analytics. It builds on DSIM 603. I had all of you last semester, so you should be well prepared for this class. In our last class, my goal was to teach you critical thinking, thinking like an analyst, and how to program in R. Basically, the entire last class was to prepare for this class. So in this class, I want to focus more on learning different analytic techniques. Now, these techniques are more difficult, so I'm going to walk you through the techniques with a little more hand-holding than I did with the other class. In particular, we're going to focus on support vector machines, naive Bayes models, and random forests in the assignments. If we have time, I will try to cover other algorithms in the live sessions. The objectives of the class are similar to the last class, as the only way to learn analytics is by doing it. Typically, this means struggling through a repetitive loop of trying to get a block of code to work for hours and hours until miraculously the model works and you get some results. So, just like in the last class, I have a discussion board for you to introduce yourself. I know, Larry, you've already introduced yourself and put your wine glasses on there. So, but just make sure you focus on what it is you want to get out of the course, so maybe I can adapt some parts of it to make it more useful to you in your future careers. This course does not have a project or required presentation, just for assignments, quizzes, and discussion boards. So on the discussion boards, please post early on the discussion board so your peers have the opportunity to respond. I think there's only 6 or 7 students, so there's not as large a pool for responses. The quizzes will be based on your readings, and all the answers should be able to be found in the book, just like last semester. The book we're using this semester is Data Mining with R by it's by Louis Torgo, and this book is the reason that we focus so much on learning R at a lower level so that we could understand the more advanced algorithms in this book.
I have a question for this before we way past it. Are we going to have it timed, or is it untimed like the last class?
It's untimed. They should be mostly short answer.
Okay.
Getting you to think about the material as opposed to like a typical timed, like multiple choice quiz or something.
Okay.
Let's see. So the assignments, whereas I had the healthcare data from a hospital in the last class, all the assignments are going to use the lending club data. The first one is probably the hardest because it requires critical thinking and utilizing the entire data mining process. So everything you learned in DSIM 603, you're just going to apply it to the new data set. So but tons of research has been performed on the lending club data set, so if you're having difficulty, there's plenty of examples online of how other people perform the analysis. My only word of caution is to not plagiarize. Is the one thing to look at how someone else did the analysis, and another just to copy it and take credit for it. However, in assignments 2 through 4, they should be a lot easier. Because I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to perform the 3 advanced algorithms. And then your job will be to first correctly type in the code, possibly debug your code, and then interpret your findings in a short paper. You may need to do additional research on interpreting the algorithm on your own to help you write the paper. In the live sessions, I'll try to go over important aspects of it, but you may have to go a little deeper. week is just a review of R programming. We have a discussion board posting and a quiz. However, I suggest you start early on next week's work because the way the book was designed, Chapter 3 is over 150 pages, so there's a lot. Basically, they go over the entire data mining process in one chapter, and then they have examples of different algorithms in the other chapters. And it also has the most in-depth assignment at the end. So right now you have about 2 weeks to do that assignment. So just as a reminder, R is a functional programming language that is free, widely used, and has a large forum to help you. It also interfaces with databases, so you can analyze straight from a database or in database processing, or even with a data warehouse. Unfortunately, I'm not going to cover that aspect in this class because we have limited time and I'd rather teach you the advanced algorithms. So, just to review, data can be stored in several forms, including numeric or continuous values, character or text, and also Boolean logic values where 0 or 1 can represent on and off or yes and no, etc. Also remember that when using R, we use the assign function represented by the less than and equal sign. So we used a lot of predefined functions in R last semester, like the max function, but we also wrote our own functions, like with the mode function that we had to write in class. And after I get to this PowerPoint, or I pull it up real quick, I pulled up the format for writing your own function. It's in line 12 here. So to write your function, you actually just use function, and then the arguments are what you're going to input. So followed by what you plan to do with that input, and then you're going to return whatever you want out of the function. So I put two example functions here. There's one that's converting Fahrenheit to Kelvin. So we input our temperature in Fahrenheit represented by the temp underscore F variable, and then we put the function where the statement is, where we want to return temperature in Kelvin with the formula for how to do that. And down here, we put in boiling point in Fahrenheit, we can convert it to what it is in Kelvin. Same idea with when we had to write a motion. We have our function, whatever list of numbers we have. We found our unique variable. There's another way we could write this mode function too, but same thing, when we run our function, it will return the mode for our data set. Is there any, I need to go in any more depth?
Functions, is it for the arguments? Can you have as many arguments as you need, or is it limited by?
No, you can nest them too. You can have nested functions, and it can go. I can try to find examples of that too. But yeah, I mean, the function can be as many processes inside that, or as many statements as you want.
Okay.
So the next part is there are many ways to store data in R, including vectors, matrices, lists, arrays, but most of the time we're going to deal with data frames, which is what we did before. So next week I'll have a little bit longer session going over Chapter 3, a little more in depth. If you read ahead of time and you find you want me to cover something in more detail, let me know ahead of time and I'll try to add it to the live session. Now I have one more slide showing where the live sessions are located, or the recordings. If you go to Blackboard, collaborate here, and you pull this set of lines, you'll get a list that lets you open up the recordings. I just wanted to make sure everybody knew how to get there. Though if you're watching, if you can't find the recording, then I don't know how you're going to find it. But that's what I have for today. Just an overview of the class and a brief review of R. Is there anything else?